my turn, right?
Yeah. I have two that stick out. I'll share both. The first one is when I was about 6 years old. It was my dad that used to come and pick us up from school. And on that day, he's a lawyer. So on that day, he had court and he delayed by just a few minutes. I don't even think it was that long. But I was used to being picked at 1 p.m. on the dot. So when everyone else was picked and I was still there, I just got my bag and started to walk home. I walked while crying. I didn't allow strangers to talk to me. The distance from school to home was about 3 kilometers. I would stand when I get to roundabouts and junctions, I would stand and wait for an adult to come and stand next to me and would cross the road together. But that entire journey, I was crying. I didn't allow anyone to hold my hand. Those things of, you're a child, let me hold your hand and help you. No, I knew the danger of strangers, but I just wanted to get home. So my dad told me that he went to school, he checked, he looked for me, he still had to go back to work. So he thought maybe she's playing, he did not expect that I would leave school. So he went back to work, and then when he finished that assignment that was taking his time, he came back to school and was looking for me. So when he looked everywhere, asked the teachers, I was nowhere to be found. So he drove the journey home, like the road that we used to take going home, and I was not there. When he got home, and that was the time, there were no phones, there was just landlines. So when he got home, he saw that I was there. I was so exhausted, I was asleep. I was asleep. All to this day, everyone is surprised that a 6-year-old could walk that journey. First, Macu, it was in town, so I walked the entire journey. The second one of the fondest memories I have of my dad is that we used to fall asleep in the couch, and we did this for a long time, and he would faithfully carry us from the couch to our beds. We even did this to a point where we were so tall and he would be carrying us and our legs are literally about to touch the ground, and he just carried us. Yeah, I am so grateful to have a dad.
When we were just boys in the car, so that's my brothers and dad, I remember we would just ask him to do stuff and he responds. So that was awesome for me. For example, we'd tell him, increase the speed, he increases. Don't let that car pass us, he doesn't. We never told him slow down. Drive faster, overtake that truck. The truck is delaying us, can you drive faster? So that's something which I have never forgotten. I remember sometime we were traveling and I told him, put the pedal to the metal. Woo. Put it down. We asked him, are you sure? Is it down? He's like, yeah, I've finished, I'm maxed out. Yeah. We're like, wow, this feels awesome. At least if we crash, it will be like a joyful one. It will be a fault, but anyway, yeah, that's one of the awesome memories that I enjoyed. Never always support your family, no matter what. Your family is your priority. So whatever the issue, whatever the situation, I remember he never ever told us, I have failed. He would always say, okay, let's see what we can do. Pray. So for example, we say, we need some maybe biscuits or something. So he would never really say, I can't afford it, or no. He may not get it that day, but he will say, okay, I'll bring them. So that's something which I've really learned. I'm really inspired to. Yeah, even now in this age, in our age, at least when our kids are not feeling well, you will see that he actually makes it to hospital just to check on you and make sure you're okay. Do you want anything? Have you had tea? I brought you some tea. Your mom made some tea. Oh, yeah, I see you're hungry. Would you like a change of clothes? Should I pass by your home just to pick? Is there something you need? And that's very, very, very inspiring. Yeah. And of course, towards marriage, your wife is always your priority. And I remember for me, in my young age, it was frustrating because say I have an instruction from my mom and she says, maybe go and maybe slash the compound. This is just an example. Or go do this, okay? And you don't support the idea. You don't, maybe you want to first maybe go take a walk, see a friend, then come back and read your books, which was usually the case. So I would, of course, in my young age, I would go to him and tell him, now, Mama said, do this, but I want to first do this and this and this. And so he would say, well, I think if your mother has said it, you do it. What? So that battle, like us against mom, we would never win. He would always be on her side. And so that's something which really I picked on.
Regarding family, I saw my dad be there for, I've seen my dad be there for everything, every single thing. There's no event of ours that he has missed. There's no milestone of ours that he has missed. He has been there for every single one. He has driven us to interviews, driven us to appointments. Even as adults, if I told my dad today that I have a meeting at X and X hotel, he'll ask me, do you want me to drive you? Can I take you? And he will drive me and wait for me. And that just shows me the value of family. He will drop everything for his family. He'll drop everything to be there for us, and it means a lot. And there are times when he will call, maybe call my brother, and if he discovers that maybe he has called when one of us is driving, he'll say, no, you first reach where you're going, and then I'll call you back. Like he's that intentional. And about marriage, I have seen my parents fight through everything. Like they've fought to stay together. Of course, their marriage hasn't always been smooth. There were challenges here and there, but I've seen them stay together, fight through them, and that's what marriage is about. The journey will not always be smooth, but the difference comes in when you decide to stay, when you decide to work it out. And at the start of their marriage, my dad, my dad was not, he didn't know God the way he knows him now. He didn't have a personal relationship with him. So he met Christ, I think in 2011 or 2012. I don't remember. And I have seen the vivid transformation that has had. To see my dad lead family altar, and it's not just to check a box, but he's actually leading it as the priest of the home. To see him pray before they set off for work, and I've seen the sacrifice. The Bible says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loves the church. I have seen my dad love my mom like Christ loved the church, sacrificially giving everything, laying himself down. And yeah, I guess also when I was looking for a husband, there are a lot of qualities that my dad has that my husband has as well. The greatest lesson all round from my dad is to treat people with kindness. Always be kind to people. It costs you nothing. I've never seen my dad raise his voice at someone. I've never seen him treat someone badly. He's always kind to people, even the people who have treated him badly. And that's one thing that always stands out for me. He always treats people with kindness. Even the people that he's now retired, but the people that he used to work with, when they see him now, they're like, hey, Mr. B. They used to call him Mr. B. Some people call him Chief. So like, Mr. B, Chief. And that kind of relationship can only come from someone who has treated people with respect, someone who has treated people with kindness. Like the lasting impression that you've had on people is a good one. So it's one that people remember you for, not people running the other direction when they see you coming. Yeah, that's something that I've seen him do.
You need to work hard all the time. You never always strive to make your family live better. Always try to make sure everybody at home is comfortable, healthy, happy. If it's not happening, then you can't rest. So yeah, I mean, even now, in where we are now, you find that he's always working hard to make sure, are you okay? How are the grandkids? So you always need to work hard to make sure that, well, you're able to earn to look after the people that you support, and that's something which that's for me, that's really significant for me, because I can't look back and say that he owes me this or that. So I believe that I love God because he taught me how to. And so there's nothing that we handle at home with our own strength. We would always pray about things, and of course he was the one leading us. So God answered, and he still answers. Yeah.
Um, One lesson I've learned from my father in love, my husband's father, is the value of humility. He is a very humble man and he has achieved so much, but like he's not above anything. He's not above picking up a rug and mopping the floor. He's not above going to the kitchen and fixing a meal. And many men feel like it's macho for you not to do that, but he's not above anything. He will humble himself and do anything. And he's also a man of integrity. I don't think I've ever seen him lie. He'll just tell you the truth as it is. And I really admire that about him. And I also admire the fact that I admire how he does marriage. He's not afraid to play and joke with his wife and tease her and affirm her even in the presence of others. I really, really love how he leads his marriage and how he leads his family. Yeah, those are the lessons I've learned from my father-in-law.
Respect. Yeah, because I've learned, I'm a number, not so many, but a number of decades younger than he is, but he looks at me with a lot of respect, and he honors the fact that this is the husband of his daughter. And yeah, it's really so humbling, because ideally you would expect yourself to, tremble a little bit in the home of your father-in-law. But he welcomes me with loving arms. How are you? Do you like some tea? Sometimes he makes it himself. It's very, I'm learning to be very respectful and honoring.
Daddy, happy Father's Day. Thank you for being an amazing dad. I could never have asked for a more incredible dad. You are one of the greatest people that I know. Thank you for showing us who God is. Thank you for showing us how to treat people. Thank you for providing for us over and above. There were those times when we started using public transportation and moving on our own, and sometimes would come to your office and well knowing that you had given us transport, you would go ahead and just give us extra. Thank you for being present beyond the word present. Thank you for being in everything that was about us, for being interested in everything that was about us, for showing us the value of family. Thank you for loving mommy. Thank you for showing us what a healthy marriage looks like, a healthy relationship. But above all, thank you for loving God and showing us how to love him. I love you, Daddy, and happy Father's Day.
Dad, I always love the fact that you have this sense of humor that we understand at home, and it has really kept us going. Thank you for teaching us to work hard, to support our people, our family, and we've learned a lot of awesome values that we need in this life. It wouldn't have learned this from anywhere else but from home. And thank you for staying in Christ, and also loving God genuinely, and showing us what it means to be somebody whose heart is after God's. And being a dad, now that I am, it's not as easy as I thought. And so I keep picking up the lessons that you taught us, or that I saw that you did, and it was such a great example. And on this Father's Day, I just want to say that I appreciate you, and I would like to celebrate so many more of these in the years to come. Happy Father's Day.
So in this month of June, when we celebrate World Infertility Awareness Month, I want to say a special Happy Father's Day to the fathers in waiting. I pray that God will grant you the desires of your heart. I pray that He will answer your prayers, and I pray that He will keep you patient, keep your heart at rest, and I pray that He will teach you the lesson that He wants you to learn in this season, that you will use your testimony to impact so many. And I also pray that He'll give you the boldness to share that lesson, to share the lessons that you've learned in waiting. I pray that He will build your marriage, even in the season of waiting, that your marriage will flourish, your marriage will grow. You will grow as an individual, you will grow as a husband, but you will also grow as a father in waiting. So happy Father's Day. And to those who have lost their dads, I pray that God will give you strength as you navigate life without your dad. I pray that you will look back on the memories of your dad with fondness. Yes, there might be sadness, but I pray that you will choose to remember the beautiful memories, the things that your dad did, the lessons that he taught you. Look back on his life with fondness, and let not Father's Day trigger you. Let it be a moment to celebrate your dad yet again in absentia. Happy Father's Day to the dads in heaven.